Hello everyone and welcome to Dr. Fluffy. Today in cleaning the litter box, I'm catching up with some things because unfortunately when you're a scientist, sometimes the lab does not let you do videos. I've been really busy with some students that I've coordinated and with some work, plus a course in oxidative stress that I was doing. Very interesting indeed. But today I have some time to catch up with some of the big things that are happening in these social justice versus anti-social justice fears. So there's two stories that I want to talk about and something that I've been wanting to explain a bit that I may end up talking also in the end. So let's dive into it. So let's start with Vidcon. For those who don't know what Vidcon is like a con for YouTube creators and for their fans. It sounds like an interesting concept. I would love to visit one day. And of course, this year was a little bit different because VidCon, even though it's supposedly not to have any political affiliation, normally most of the YouTubers that go there are either very generic YouTubers with no political affiliation or a lot of left-wing political affiliated YouTubers. And when I mean left-wing, I don't mean left-wing, I mean regressive left. I don't mean liberals, I don't mean people from the normal left, I mean regressives, I mean the progressives, the SJWs. But before, we never heard anything really happening there. There was much to talk about. But unfortunately, this year, big YouTubers from the anti-SJW side, the skeptic community, people that are blowing up but that have massively positive feedback from the internet, decided to all go, and not just to hear other people out, but also because they wanted to meet each other. And there's been actually a positive wave lately in the skeptic community from many people have been opening doors, like Lacey Green and Sargon of Akkad, that decided to talk to each other, and now they see a little bit more eye to eye. It's not that they don't disagree on these topics, but now they are more civil in the way that they can move forward in terms of discussing these issues. The same thing with Francesca Ramsey and, for example, Andy Warski. People are starting to understand how to disagree properly, and that criticism is not harassment, but they also are understanding that, of course, when you criticize someone, followers will tend also to go after those people. But that's not the creator's fault, but the creators understand that that's wrong. And this is really positive change that is happening. But of course not everyone can be, civil, respectful, and rational. And if you are in the internet, you can seriously understand and know what happened at VidCon, as Anita Sarkeesian from the stage, ironically talking about bullying and harassment online, decided to harass Sargon of Akkad that was just sitting there, hearing us speak. He did not heckle her, he did not interact with her, he was just sitting there, see what she had to say. The same Sargon, by the way, that apologized, for example, to Lacey Green when they had their heart-to-heart, by the way that his followers treated her. Not that Sargon did anything wrong, because he didn't. But Sargon is man enough to understand that, yeah, sometimes shit happens and sometimes it's not always fair. And that panel was not just bad because of that, because of the direct harassment that in an insult that Anita gave to Sargon, but I think the worst part was the way that they basically dodged every question. Like every question that was legitimately done to them, they would just ask for security to remove the person from the questionnaire. Now, VidCon team, we're going to talk about them, also about the way they handled the Sargon thing, but when you have panelists and you have panelists that are not professional enough to respond to questions, and their response to questions is asking security to remove the questioner, don't invite them anymore. Those people do not deserve to be on that stage. Those people are not a contributor. They are not value for the YouTube video creator community. Those people are terrible YouTubers. Those people are terrible at doing what they do. If they are just going to run away from questions, if what's the point of having them in a question and answer section of on a panel? I think you're showing again your bias, because in these issues you put basically only left-wing radical people. When you add the front row of that panel full of bigger YouTubers than the ones that were actually in the panel, that makes no sense, Hank. Vidcon team needs to sit the fuck down and maybe understand that, yeah, we should be professionally doing this con, not just inviting our friends and the people that are in our circle jerk, and maybe actually start inviting people that matter, like for example Sargon of Akkad, you know, one of the big YouTubers in this moment in terms of political debate, especially in terms of these issues. Maybe that was you know, much better than, for example, a con artist like Anita Sarkeesian. Yes, she's a con artist, and she was on the wrong here, you know, and then you issue a statement defending Anita Sarkeesian, bashing Sargon, even though you are admitting that Anita Sarkeesian violated your rules. You still let her go into another panel where she abused another person in terms of Boogie. That was ridiculous, and now you're basically threatening other content creators that if they go and they film the SJWs that you call friends doing something stupid, that they will not be invited back. That is a problem, Hank. That's a problem, Vidcon team. I don't remember the name of the other guy, so I only remember Hank. I don't know why. That's wrong, and we need to fix it. So, Vidcon team, I think you owe not just Sargon of Akkad, Boogie, but I think you owe the entire public that attended Vidcon an apology, because of the way you guys acted when your rules were broken by one of your friends. You own an apology for defamating a YouTuber with false information, just hearing the side that you wanted to hear out. And I hope that apology will not take long, because you need this to save Vidcon itself. Because if Vidcon goes this path, it will disappear. People will leave Vidcon behind and will start another con, and yeah, you're going to, everything that you built with Vidcon, you will lose it. Believe me, you will lose it, because people are smarter than you think. But now let's change subject, because everybody's already talking about Vidcon all over the place. No need for me to continue wasting your time with Vidcon. This is just my opinion. I hope they do apologize and they change a little bit their behavior. I'm not saying that they will not be friends with these people, but they need to be professional. So let's go for another subject that also deserves a little bit of talk. Riley Dennis, one of our favorite SJWs that does not understand what this gender dysphoria and transsexuality is, or gender, put up a video talking about him doing surgery and being on hormonal treatment for 1 year, and some YouTubers already started apologizing. A little bit in this vein of these good vibes that everybody is going on about, of trying not to be so mean to people. And Riley's response basically was, go fuck yourself, because if you didn't support me when I was not doing the transition therapy, you did not consider me a woman then, I don't care about you now. So I think people, it's a good thing that we are having good vibes and everybody's trying to be nicer to each other. But I think, you know, both Blair White and Andy kind of jumped the gun on this one, because context matters. And we need to look at Riley's context and who Riley Dennis is, what Riley Dennis says before we start changing our minds just because of one video. Now, Blair's reason basically to apologize was that Blair's transition is not as far advanced than what Riley said in that video. But this is Riley. It's Riley we are talking about. First, I think we should doubt a little bit of what he's saying in the video. I don't think Riley is a trustworthy person. He lies a lot on his videos, he distorts reality just to push an agenda. So I wouldn't be surprised if this video was just to push an agenda. But I could be wrong here. Now, I think also Riley is ideologically driven enough to do these things like the surgery to his face and the hormone treatment just to push the agenda. Maybe there's no gender dysphoria there. It's just to push the agenda, to keep pushing the agenda. Felt like these was things that were needed to push the agenda and doing it. So I'm not trusting Riley's word one bit. And then, maybe as the doctor noticed that gender dysphoria, do you remember how easy it was for Lawrence Sutherland to get a doctor's notice of gender dysphoria to change her gender to male? It was extremely easy. And do you think Lawrence Sutherland suffers from gender dysphoria? Of course not. So again, I don't trust him. Now I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will start calling Riley she, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, you know. For now, I see no proof of that. When Riley gets some boobs and cuts the dick off, especially when he cuts the dick off, I'll believe Riley. Because again, the context matters, because a lot of people will say, oh, but Blair White still has the penis also, and you call her she. Yes, I do, because again, context matters. You can see by Blair White's talk and the way she talks and the way she acts and the way she understands gender dysphoria, that she has gender dysphoria, that she is someone who's biologically male, but her brain works like a female. So she's transitioning, and you can understand that she wants to transition, that it's part of what she's doing. Riley never did that. Riley is always saying that there's no such thing as biological sex, there's no such thing as two genders, that gender is a spectrum, all of these bullshit ideas that do not match reality and does not match someone who actually has gender dysphoria. There's someone who wants to transition to the other gender. Riley always said, oh, a non-binary woman. There's no such thing as a non-binary woman, because if you're a woman, you're already on a binary scale. So in that context, we can understand that we cannot trust Riley. That's the point. Besides, how many real trans people do you know that then date the person from the heterosexual gender of their original biological sex? Normally when you see like a man transition to a woman, that woman will want to date men. When you see a woman transition to a man, that new man wants to date woman. No, I never saw a case of someone transitioning and then dating the sex they were original heterosexual with. That's very rare. And so I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I think it makes it even more important for the dick to be cut off. Because if you're a woman, if you believe that you're a woman and you're a lesbian, then the dick has no place in that relationship. Two lesbians, the lesbians don't want dicks, you know? They want the plastic thing, and whatever. No, just no so. And besides, I think, even let's pretend that, Riley really suffers from gender dysphoria, can be a possibility. Why apologize for anything? His ideas are still terrible. His ideas are still worse for people with gender dysphoria, for trans people, because he's ignoring their pain. So yeah, I think it makes even worse what he says, because it's basically really hurting people that suffer from the same thing that he does. And yeah, I don't see any reason to apologize in this case, because Riley's attitude online has always been terrible, terrible, and I don't think he deserves an apology from no one. I really don't. I don't want him to get hatred. Don't mistake me. I hate people that do that, and I've been a target for also a lot of bullshit online, especially from vegans. So I don't want anybody to be, being mean to him. One thing is criticizing his ideas, and that's what I do. That's what I like to do. But I don't think, especially, I think all these people that apologize never were attacking Riley. They were attacking his ideas. So I think this is kind of a bit emotional reaction from this good vibe that has been going on. That they think they can extend it to every SJW, that to build bridges. But I think there are some SJWs that don't want to build bridges. Riley is one of them. Look at the answer that Andy got. So yeah, that's my thought on that. I don't trust that Riley is really suffering from gender dysphoria. Then this is a big sign that he is, and he is really trans. I don't buy it, but I may be wrong. Now for the final thing that I want to talk about. The last thing that I want to talk about is the necessity of millennials to be special. This is also partly the parents' fault, because the parents have been telling the kids, "Oh, you're so special," and the teachers are always saying, "Oh, you're special, you're special." Everybody wants to be special, Everybody wants to do more with their lives. Unfortunately, the next generation, this millennial generation, does not understand what being special actually is, because you have two types of special. You have the special of people that have illnesses and are special in not really a nice way, It's not the way that you want to be special. And then you have special like people with talent, Michael Jackson was special. Michael Jordan was special. Sean Connery was special. Einstein was special. People who have either put a lot of work in what they do and became the best in what they do, and or people that have amazing talent on some things, and they are entertainers or scientists or people that make a difference are special, because these are people that really, like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, uh, these are special people. Success makes people special. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not want to work hard to be special, and they were not born with special talents to be special. So what do they cling on to? They cling on to victimhood, because victimhood makes people apparently special. You get special rights, you get special treatment. You're in everybody's mouth, and so certainly everybody wants to be special, even though they didn't work to be special. They are actually not special, and this you can especially see it in the LGBT community, also in Black Lives Matter and things like that. But the LGBT community, I think, is the best example of the attempt of millennials to continue to be special, 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 because a long time ago, what we had was homosexual people trying to be normal, trying not to be special, because the special that they were discriminated by religion, by all these things, and they fought really hard to have the same rights as everyone else. And suddenly they were not special anymore. Homosexuality became something normal, at least in the West, so they were not special anymore. But something else happened, right? So suddenly the millennials were like, "Oh, but we want to be special, Oh God, everybody should look at us because we're special, different." And suddenly they created the LGBT community that mix things that have nothing to do with each other. Like homosexuality has nothing to do with transsexuality. Those are completely two different things. They have nothing in common. But unfortunately, they get mixed together. And until the point where, so different rights, different struggles that they have. But let's take a look at what LGBTQ plus means, because they just keep adding letters to be more special. So L, lesbian. G, gay. It's the same thing, it's homosexuality. So there's no need to gender homosexuality. Homosexuality, someone who is attracted by the same sex. So there was no need to separate it. But they did separate it. Why? Makes no sense. To be different, to be more special. LGB, bisexual. Now, bisexual, I've had people defend ideas about bisexuality in my comment section, and I'm open to the concept of bisexuality being, changed in my mind. But in my opinion, I keep the opinion that bisexuality is just heterosexuality or homosexuality with a fetish. Because I never met anybody hold that is bisexual. No, after a while, whoever called himself or herself bisexual, pick a side. And I never saw this in nature to be the case. But if science can prove to me that there is bisexuality, no problem with it. But again, in terms of rights, makes no difference, because if homosexual people and heterosexual people have the same rights, then by definition, bisexuals also have the same rights. So it makes no sense to differentiate from those two things. Then we have transsexual. Transsexual, of course, is a completely different thing. It's not sexuality. Transsexual is someone who transitions from one sex to the other. So really it makes no sense to separate it. And to put together with homosexuality, because relation, again, it is the result, of course, of an illness that is called gender dysphoria. I already covered this in length in all my videos. But until now, we are still in the realm of reality. When it goes to the Q is where reality starts distorting itself.
I was like, what the fuck is the Q? Does that even make sense, Q? Turns out Q is like the vowels. That shit is sometimes Y. It's for gay dudes that don't really know they're gay. You know what I mean? Like prison fags who are like, well, I'm not gay, nigga. I'm just sucking these dicks to pass the time. I'm not G, I'm Q. Ugh.
I actually met these two girls that one of them got pissed at me because I criticized like some stupid shit that happened in the LGBT march in Portugal, and she was really pissed with me and she blocked me on Facebook because she said, oh, I was one of the queer people in that protesting, I'm ugly feminist. I was like, okay. I didn't even get time to answer, but I answered anyway. I gave her an answer to another account of hers because I knew she had two. It was really stupid, I never did anything wrong to this girl, never criticized her, didn't have no idea that she was there, and she considered herself cute. But she, and another case that I know very similar, they say they are queer and they date guys. I've seen them, at least one of them I know as a boyfriend, and the only thing they do is dress a little bit funny. And it's the same thing with most of these fake genders and fake sexualities. They date normally with the few guys that are able to put up with the craziness, and they just dress a little bit funny, with a little bit weird style, and they think that's sexuality or that's gender. It's not, and all of this is because they want to feel special. The reality is that they spent their whole life wanting to be special, but the people that most of the time was special was that really hot chick on their class. It was not her. It's the girl that was really smart and they became a doctor. That's not her. It's the girl that became an actress. It's not her. The girl that became a model, it's not her. The girl that actually was smart and did something with her life, it's not her. The girl that is already married with kids, it's not her. That's why they cling to this stuff of trying to become victims, because it gives them attention, it gives them special privileges, it gives them this all of these things that otherwise they would just be another dot in the crowd. It would be just another number of someone normal, and they cannot handle that because they didn't grow up. They are still like children, believing that the world revolves around them. You know, that kids, when they're very young, they really believe the world revolves around them, and that's part of evolution. That's part of survival. Kids believe that the world surrounds around them, but when they reach puberty, they start understanding they know the world does not revolve around them. Unfortunately, millennials seem to have missed that phase. They still think the world revolves around them, and they have to be special, and they don't want to work to be special, to be something better. No, 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 no. They just create these groups, victim groups, and so the rest of the world is evil, and they're special, so you need to give them special treatment. That's it. That's the SJW philosophy in a nutshell. And this can be really sad because sometimes these people are not even, ugly or really that much of a failures. They're just not special. They're normal kids that could have done better with their lives, but they ruined their lives by becoming these ideological driven monkeys. Really, I know a lot of, for example, girls that basically kind of ruin themselves with not choosing veganism as a diet, but becoming like these ideologically driven vegans. They get into that, echo chamber, and they become hostile to everybody outside their echo chamber, and they think they're special. They think they're saving the world. They think they're so much better than everybody else when they basically failed in most of the things in life. And it's sad. And I'm using the vegan argument, but it's vegans, it's SJWs, is the feminists, it's all of these, the Black Lives Matter. All of these people, you look at them, and the biggest thing they have in common is that they never achieved anything worthy with their lives. So their worthiness is how much victim they are, and how much in their circle jerk of safe space they become big, you know. And Anita Sarkeesian again is the best example that I can give you of this. Anita Sarkeesian is ugly. I don't want to be mean, but she's ugly. God damn it. And she took a useless course. She's a terrible critic. She's a terrible journalist. I think it's even an insult to the profession to call her that. But she just managed to become a victim and make her money through victimhood, and now she's actually successful. But you take away all of her bullshit, and she's a failure in life. She will never be anything more than a failure in life. But she's compensating that by being special. Special, Anita. Oh my god. Somebody stop the misogyny. Somebody stop the video games. Somebody help me. I'm a strong, independent woman, but I need help from that. Just stop, man. Oh my god, a horror. And thankfully, we have a great movement in the internet fighting this mentality, but I think parents need to step up, because the universities and the school system that's controlled by the left is in great part building this mentality. But you as parents are the ones that need to fight this mentality the most. You cannot just pamper your children like idiots, like freaking retards, and say they can do everything they want. You need to have a stronger wrist, like parents used to have, and keep your kids in line. You keep your kids' mind from dissolving into shit. But yeah, those were my rambling thoughts on the issue. I think that's it for today, guys. Sorry to not release a video sooner, and sorry for the low quality of this video. It's just a lot of rambling around. But I needed to release some negative energy pile up from all of these stories. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and maybe subscribe to my channel if you like it. Suggest me videos to respond to. I always forget to tell you guys that. You can suggest to me videos that you want me to respond to on the comment section, or send me a message to the message system of YouTube, and I'll check the stories out. I will try to respond it if I can help. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell me your opinion on these issues, because I always want to hear from you guys, even the crazy ones that sometimes come trying to think they can take the fluffiness down, but no one can take the fluffiness down. Stay fluffy.